Okay, I'm going to walk through a screenshot for graphically displaying the reaction 1 and reaction 2 data from investigation 6. You're going to start off here. I just put in some time measurements right here that you might have found in table 2, and then you have different temperature measurements that you took during the reaction progress from your LabQuest. So if you look at the data that I put in here, this part's going to be time in seconds, and this is the temperature for reaction 1 and the temperature for reaction 2, so I need to label that. But so I can keep it straight, I'm going to go to the cell above these to the left here, and I'm going to type in time in seconds, and this part right here, I want these cells to both be temperature in degrees Celsius. So if you'll click and highlight both of those cells, I had already done it once just to make sure it worked, but if you highlight both of those cells and click merge and center like that, and then you should be able to type in there temperature. You can just put temp if you want, and then space, open parentheses, go to insert symbol, find the degree sign, insert that, and then put a capital C and close your parentheses for that. And then that way these kind of, this is temperature for both of these. Reaction 1, temperature for reaction 2. So once you've typed in all your temperatures and all that stuff for each time measurement, you can highlight the text of it there, and on the home tab go to this little box for the borders, and first pick all borders, and I'll put lines in between it for you, and then go right back to that and click that little arrow and do a thick box border on the outside like that. So and also don't forget, when you put the tables into your Excel, you only need to put the ones that have time and temperature measurements in them. Now on your handout, the table was spread across horizontally just to save space on my paper document that you're going to print out. But this should be, when you get ready to make your graph, it's easier probably if you'll just put your time and temperatures just in vertical columns just like that. Alright, so now you need to insert a graph. So the first thing that you'll do is, we'll do this a little bit different. Go to the Insert tab and go to Scatter Plot, and I'm going to get you to pick the one with the smooth lines and markers, and then it'll give a blank one right now because you didn't select anything. So I want you to do it in this way. I want you to right click and then go to the Select Data button, and first add a series like this. So for the series name for the first one, your first reaction was endothermic reaction, so citric acid plus baking soda. That's what I want you to name it. The X value right here is going to be the time interval. So click the little select box here, go over at 0 seconds and drag down to the whatever seconds wherever yours ended. Click back in the box up here. The Y value will be the temperature for reaction number 1. And you have, a graph that does like that. Click OK. Add a second series this one, reaction number 2, is magnesium, let me spell it out, magnesium plus hydrochloric acid. The X value is still going to be the time interval, so select the 0 through whatever time interval. The Y values for this one are going to be the temperatures that correspond to that reaction. And then you'll have that graph put there. Click OK. And click OK again. So then you'll have 2 graphical representations of that. Then you need to label your chart. So you need to go to your Design tab and put a title by going to Chart Title above the chart. So this is temperature versus time for endothermic and exothermic reactions. And make sure we're going to do the font changes anyway, so if you click that box, if you go to the Home tab, you can make it Times New Roman. I just have to type that in, and you make it 12-point font like that. You can also do that for your wording inside for your legend. You can make it Times New Roman 12-point font also if you really wanted to. You also need to label each axis. So if you go back to your Design tab and choose your axis titles, the horizontal below, well, that's time in seconds, like that. So you want to make sure you label that and make sure it's Times New Roman 12-point font. And then you need to do your axis title for your vertical axis, displayed horizontally. This is temperature, and that's going to be in degrees Celsius. So you first might need to put the capital C, and then click beside it there. You can put the insert symbol again and add your degree sign in there, so you'll have temperature in degrees Celsius. And you can go ahead and go to your Home tab and change that to Times New Roman 12-point font. You can change your display of that a little bit in a minute. And also make your axis labels Times New Roman 12-point font for your numbers. Okay. Then you can make your graph a little bit you know, you can move your graph over a little bit so it'll look better. And then you'll have, you know, a graph that kind of looks like this. You could also choose like to the individual graph itself right here. You can actually stretch that out a little bit further like that, and you could reposition your legend there where it, you know, you can still see everything. And then you have a graph for that, and that's what you'll use to graphically show your particular reactions. So your temperature change, you had a decrease in temperature for the citric acid baking soda, and maybe your increased temperature for your magnesium hydrochloric acid reaction, and then you'll have a nice graph for that. Remember that your graph may be, your numbers may be different. That's okay. You put in exactly what you got.